It is a helicopter sound flying overhead at the pier. These field recordings give this particular track this kind of organic feel, you know, especially in electronic music. It's a lot of clean instruments, clean sounds. The most interesting thing about the drums is where I got the sounds. So that's where this kind of came in handy. So it's a field recorder. I've been using this for a very long time. It's now somehow become sticky and I can't figure out why. But field recordings is a very surefire way to make sure that you have sounds that no one else has. At this point, I'll either use this or really I'll use my phone to get field recordings and pick up random sounds. So right now in the snare that you're hearing, there's 3 different layers. Okay, so in that snare, there is a truck door. Yeah, you can hear people talking. That sound, which also has a lot of reverb on it, it's just a rock hitting another rock. Traditional snare. I have 2 different snares panned a little left and right. When approaching a song, part of the reason why it's so fun for me and that it's been challenging or a way for me to challenge myself is because I always want to create in a way that's interesting. And even though no one's going to know that that's a truck door or a rock, I'll always know that. And, you know, in very rare instances like this, you know, I'll be able to show someone. But at the same time, this isn't coming from a sample library. No one's going to have a snare that sounds like this. So that's beer going into a glass. To put the beer pouring in context. The thing that's really interesting about this particular track is that it's actually a second of a 2-part song. Lune Rouge are actually 2 separate songs, but when I created the songs, I actually put them in one whole session. To kind of talk about the inception of Rouge is very much important to kind of briefly go over Lune, the song that's right before it. It's more symphonic, but the part that links this previous song to this song is this guitar line. This guitar is actually a synth patch that I made it's made by Output, it's called Signal. And for me, I create in layers. What's really important for me in all of my songs is creating rhythm and movement, and a lot of that is through non-quantizing certain elements of the drums. These drums, I tapped in using MIDI. Let's see. In Ableton, I have all my drums set up in drum rack. So I had recorded the bass line using a patch in Substance, which again is a Contact library made by Output. Went and I recorded myself playing over it with this guy right here. And you'll see that none of the frequencies will kind of conflict because they're in different areas of the spectrum. So that's the bass, just the top end by itself. Well, I guess I would say as a musician, over the years, you're always refining who you are as a musician. You always gain more knowledge to make things easier, to change your workflow to be more efficient or process your ideas more quickly. And if I had this knowledge that I have now, 5 or 10 years ago, my music would have sounded differently. I just didn't know how to do the things I know how to do now. And with this particular song, I was very fortunate in that I knew when it was done.